Hi everybody, my name's Laurin and I just wanted to share a wonderful self-discovery tool while we're all in isolation. I know I'm busy taking courses, learning piano, but I thought I'd share a tool that I was taught. I'm a passion test facilitator, which helps people to discover their interests, their passions. And this is also a way for us to discover a bit more about ourselves. For example, I didn't realize how much I really wanted to learn how to play piano and guitar, and I have a whole bunch of flutes I haven't played. So I realized during this quiet time that these are some of the things that I've been unable to do due to other interests, other commitments, and so forth. So it was a good thing to know, because now I'm taking the time while we're in isolation to do these things that have always been on my bucket list. And I just want to take you through a very simple process. So if you'd like, you can get some pen and paper, because you will need it just for me to give you the process. It's a very simple process. Ideally, we want to be doing it with someone else, because it's really nice to have someone read it back to us and take us through the coaching questions. But we can't, unless of course you have somebody at home with you, then certainly, and they're interested of course in helping you or doing it with you. So get yourself a pen and some paper. And while you're getting pen and paper, I'll just talk a little bit about the passion test. It's a process whereby we list 10 interests, 10 passions. And then what we do is we go through each of the passions. And for example, one could be learning music, two could be teaching. And so what you would do is you would pit one against two. If you could only have one of these, teaching or learning music. And you just have to ask the question more from your heart. And you just get a sensation of which one really excites you more. And so you would cross off the one that least excites you. For example, teaching. I love to teach. And so if I had to choose between the two, I would mark off my music. And then what I would do is I would take teaching versus my third one could be swimming. I adore swimming. I was a competitive swimmer for years. But if I really thought about it and I really, really love teaching, I would mark off swimming. So again, I would take the one that always really excites me the most, that I feel the most happiness in sharing and being involved, because it's about being, where we're the happiest within ourselves when we're engaged in this. And it doesn't do out all the other things in life. This is just a process for us to get clear, because of course the passion test is meant to be taken over and over when we need to make decisions. It's a good decision-making tool. And then we would do this through, of course, the full list of 10. Okay, so now you might have pen and paper. So I'm going to review that again. Okay, so that was just giving you an example. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to kind of go into a reflective state. Just relax your mind, become very receptive. And so this is kind of connecting the mind and the heart. So you would imagine 10 different things that really excite you, that where you feel alive. You feel alive when you're engaged in these doings or beings. And again, they can be anything from physical activity to things that you're learning, things that you love to share, the people you love to be with. This is about where you feel alive and happy. So you would first list those 10 down. Now, again, just take this as a process. Once you have the process, you can keep redoing the passion test. So don't get too involved about which ones. Throw any 10 on there. Okay, so that's the first step. Then what you're going to do, as I mentioned, if for those of you who are listening or weren't getting pens and paper at the time, you're going to measure 1 against 2. So, for example, learning music or teaching, that's what I would, those are mine anyways. So I would measure, and I could only have one, music against teaching. I would choose teaching. So I would mark off the first one because music isn't my top when I compare the two. Then I would take number 2, which was teaching, against number 3. And I would keep doing that till I get down to 10. So maybe teaching wins out. And so I circle teaching, which is my number 1 passion. So now I take it off the list. Now I only have 9 left. So now I'm going to measure, and that was number 2. I'm going to measure 1, which was music. Let's say swimming was number 3, because I love to swim. So I would decide that, if I could only have one at this time in my life, because when I was younger, of course, I would have chosen swimming. But now I would choose music because I'm at a different stage in my life, a little bit more reflective and passive, older. And I would mark off swimming. So now music would then be the one that I would choose. And I would go now to the number 4, which could be having deep and meaningful conversations with people. And I really think about that because I love both of them. Right now I'm in a learning mode, but if I could only choose one, I would choose deep and meaningful conversation. So now I've marked off music. So I would now have deep and meaningful conversation. So I'd go down to number 5, which could be another passion. So I'd go down the list till I get to 10. Let's say deep and meaningful conversation loses out to art. This wouldn't be the case for me because it would be deep and meaningful conversation. But art, let's say, is number 9. Well, I decided that art would be better. So now deep and meaningful conversation gets X'd out, and art then becomes my number 2 passion. So I take that one off the list. So now I only have 8. So again, you go in order of the list, 1 versus 4 versus 5, whatever it is, whichever ones are left, because you've taken 2 off now and you don't include them, and you keep going down the list till you come to your number 3 passion. You take that off. Now you have 7. You then do this until you only have 6, and you get 5 top passions. Now, it's very important. Some people are afraid that their husband or their wife or their children, those important, essential things in life, would get left off. But this is a self-discovery. We say in the passion test, you never lose out. Don't worry. It doesn't mean that you don't love your children any less, or your husband or your wife or your business. It just means that you're getting some understanding of what's next for you. Where are you going to learn? Because it's a learning tool, a self-discovery tool. So just relax on that one. Don't worry about it. Be honest with yourself and stop saying, I need to choose my children. Doesn't mean your children aren't one of your passions. It's just you're learning something about yourself right now. So let the process unfold. Okay, so it's about giving yourself permission to see what it has to say about you. It's not a process for judgment. It's just a path of self-discovery. Now, the next thing you're going to do, once you have your top 5 passions, you're going to give them a score from 0 to 10. Let's say learning music was mine, okay? Just for example, I've just started to learn music. So it's only been these last couple of weeks that I've learned while we've been in isolation that I really want to learn all these instruments I've longed to learn. And so I would probably put right now a 7 on it because I'm doing it every single day. And then I would go down my list and I would give them a score, 0 meaning it's not at all in your life at all, and you'd love it to be, but it's still a 0. So be honest where it is. So you have to just give it 0 to 10. 10 being it's like full on in your life. Your passion is fully engaged. So then what you're going to do is after you've done that for your top 5 passions, you're going to do markers for each of your passions, your top 5 passions. When I am playing music, number 1 marker would be I would be playing music. I would be doing it and practicing it daily. It's on my radar. I'm actually doing it. I'm not just thinking about doing it. I'm actually doing it. So then I might hire a teacher online or get an online course, which is what I've done. And then I'd actually, get onto my instruments and start practicing them. So I'd have to put 3 markers. We want to put 3 markers. Let's say we have another interest is teaching. I love to teach. Well, if I'm not teaching, then it's 0. But like right now, I'm trying to teach and share some of the tools, of course, that I've learned with everyone while we're social distancing. So I'd say I'm at about a 5 on that one. And so the markers would be, well, I'd post videos and share some tools. I would, that would be number 1. It's very hard right now. So also teaching myself, I'm doing yoga every single day, and I'm learning different forms of yoga, and I'm challenging myself. And so another one would be just books that I want to read about. I want to learn more about the connective tissues or anatomy, so reading more. So that'd be another marker. So what you're going to do is you're going to create 3 markers that is evidence that says you are actively engaged in this passion. So it kind of gets you going. It's a way to fuel your interest and get you going. Because of course, if we live in the realm of the mind, it's just ideas, but we're experiential beings. We need to engage with life. We need to practice life, because this is how we learn. This is how we learn who we are too, because our interests help us to discover more about ourselves. So I wanted to share with you the passion test again, listing the 10 passions, going through the process of elimination till you get 5, then score them 0 to 10 to see just where they are in your life, because it also tells you where you'd like to increase them being in your life. And then you do the markers on your 5 passions that say this is evidence that I'm engaged in this. And the passion test is meant to be done over and over. You can use it for decision making. It's really just a tool. So try it for the first time and get a sense of the process. And it'll also teach you a lot about, wow, I never even thought about that, but that's a great idea. So we also learn from each other. We can kind of look at the world and going, what would I love? I've learned that through the passion test, leading people, a lot of people's passions inspire me to go, that's the same thing for me. That's so true, because we all are mirrors for each other. We get to learn. So enjoy your time with the passion test, and feel free to look up the passion test on the internet. There's probably lots of opportunities there. And if you want, you can get a hold of me. Okay, enjoy. Hope you have some fun learning a little bit about yourself, and share the tool with others. Bye.